Hi guys, I'm really excited about this first pass at the floor plan layout for your new home. Let's start here with the overall site plan. As you'll be able to see, the new home is set tight both to the curved front setback as well as the side setbacks here, preserving more area at the back and between the main home and the ADU. We have large front and rear porches, as well as a front porch for the ADU, and a back porch or back patio for the master suite. More on that to come. We've got a 2.5-ish car garage that's side facing into a shared driveway that then connects to the ADU's garage slash workshop. And then just for some additional context on the site plan, if you zoom in, you can see the black dashed outline of the existing house on site. All right, so let's zoom out here and we'll go to the second page of the PDF, which is the main home. So what we start with is a very large and gracious front porch that faces directly onto the cul-de-sac. Curved or at least some paved walkways will connect the porch to the street as well as perhaps to the driveway. These are obviously just placeholders for now. Don't put too much stock in the hardscape or the landscape design. But I love this front porch. I think, with this sort of nook right here, we'll be able to do a lot of seating here. You can definitely have room for benches or some swinging benches. I think Halloween decor could be pretty awesome here. And it still leaves ample space for guests to stand protected from the elements while they're waiting for you to answer the front door at the entry. Looking at or thinking ahead to the elevations, the 3D model, I feel like this layout with the porch in the middle, the side of the garage, which could be, designed with windows rather than a garage door, and of course these two bedrooms flanking a bathroom, I think this will provide a lot of great opportunity for some really beautiful curb appeal. But more on that to come after we focus on what's really important right now, which is the layout of the rooms, the sizes of the spaces, and how the spaces all relate to each other. So from the front porch, we would enter into the entry of the foyer. I've got right now just dashed in a concept of a built-in bench along this line here so that your guests could sit down, take off their shoes before coming into the main home. There'd be a coat closet just around the corner here, just giving you a little more opportunity for solid wall for art or a mirror or something. Let's see. So when we come in here, to the left would be the bedroom wing, but we'll come to that later. I want to first go to the right into the great room. So immediately, this great room with its large vaulted ceilings, it presents a really spectacular space, both for just day-to-day living for the family of five, as well as for much larger gatherings. The dining table here sits adjacent to the new fireplace. I'm still waiting for feedback from the city to see if a new wood-burning fireplace will work. But I do believe that a gas burning fireplace shouldn't be an issue. But hopefully we can go with that isocurn here because I think what a wonderful element to have adjacent to the dining room, as you guys expressed during our site visit. You love sitting at the dining table with the fire roaring. I think this also just has a great connection, a diagonal view from the kitchen. So I feel like even in the kitchen or sitting in the family space, everyone gets to benefit from this large roaring fire. So I think that's really fantastic. The kitchen, it's really grand. We've got the main sink here with the dishwasher flanking it, perhaps dishwasher here, trash pull out right here, the cooktop right here, and then some upper cabinets. And then these elements here would be some either the tall wall oven flanking the refrigerator, and perhaps then just another tall like appliance pantry or an appliance garage. This could be where the mixer is kept, or this could be where the mixer is kept, but this would represent some tall cabinets, upper cabinets running along that, and then a very large window at the sink. So even if you're standing at the cooktop, you still could look out the window at the sink through the covered porch to the elm tree right here. The kitchen's also got a nice, large, unencumbered work island, which I think would be just filled to the brim with storage cabinets on all sides. And whether or not we need to put in a bar sink or something like that, or a prep sink, or just leave it just unencumbered as just one complete slab. That's really up to you. But this would be the work kitchen. This then would be a second island that is narrower in this dimension, but is really meant more to act as like a breakfast bar. So this is where the seating would be. There would still be some shallow storage cabinets along here. But what I like about this is this could definitely be used for the kids to set out and do some breakfasting, to set up a long buffet for when you're doing a more formal dinner. But then also, if the countertops here and this island are the standard 36 inches tall, I'd like to make this much taller, maybe 42 inches, 3.5 feet, or all the way up to 48 inches, 4 feet tall, depending on how comfortable you are with that. And then do some bar stool seating here. That way, if the kitchen's a bit messy, and you're sitting at the dining table, perhaps it does a little bit of screening to any mess that might be, pots and pans waiting in the sink here. It does a little bit of a job of screening that. Not completely closing it off. This is an open great room concept, but it's just doing a bit of double duty, screening the views into the kitchen from this dining table. Let's see here. The family room here would open directly onto the rear covered porch. So this would either be some sort of bifolding accordion wall, or perhaps we build in a pocket here for multi-pass pocket doors. So sliding glass doors that all slide into a pocket right here, completely disappearing the glass doors from the elevation when you want this covered screen porch to just be part of the family room. More on that to come. Again, we want to focus the conversation on the size of the rooms, the adjacencies, and the overall layout of the house. We're not really yet talking about windows or patio doors or things like that. Let's see here. The rear porch is certainly the part of the house that best connects to the two trees in the back, the elm and the oak here. The master bedroom as well, but we'll come to that later. Part of what I would not struggled with on this plan, but with these two beautiful trees here, I wanted to make sure that the kitchen and the family room all really had a great connection to that. But also wanting a rear covered porch here kind of made me, and not wanting to come into the drip line, kind of made me set the family room a little bit further in and away from the tree from your existing living room now, which we can see dashed in here in black, sort of where the rear dining, or where the rear porch's dining area is now. I still think this is the most ideal layout, because wanting to have the rear covered porch directly adjacent to the kitchen and family room does make sense. And from this space, you'll be able to have great connection to these elements. But if that's not necessarily what you had in mind, let's talk about that, because I don't want to lead us down a design path where the kitchen or the family room seating is cut off from these trees. In my mind, this space, this great room, is vaulted with the peak shown here dashed. So this would be the ridge beam, set to the full, max 18-foot height. And then we vault down from there. Thinking about like morning light coming in from the east, I think the best way to bring in a lot of light while we have a covered porch right here wouldn't be to depend on the light pouring in from this, I guess, northwest facing window, but instead to say, let's incorporate at least one large skylight here above the island facing east, so that you get that morning sun coming in for breakfast time and coffee time. We can certainly talk more about that live, but that's sort of the one thing about this layout that I'm not totally sold on yet, is how the great room relates to these trees. I think the bedrooms do a great job of it, but let's move on. In this corner of the great room, I think we could do sort of an informal seating area for like a reading nook. I don't think we need it to be a breakfast nook. I think that's overkill with the breakfast bar and the dining table here. So I think this would be better suited to some, really comfortable, cushiony built-ins with a great connection to the front porch and a great view of that roaring fireplace. There's perhaps some other things that we could do in this area, but let's talk more about your needs, before we further explore what could be done in this corner. The great room leads off to this hallway here, and this hallway is what connects directly to the garage. The walk-in pantry just off the kitchen here. There might be a way to just directly connect the pantry to the kitchen, but I think perhaps it's not too far off just to come this way to grab what you need from the pantry and come back out. If you want a more direct connection, we could certainly work on getting a door into the pantry this way if we if we stop the countertop. Actually, thinking about this now, let's zoom in a little bit. What might be interesting is if we just had this run of countertop here, this run of uppers right here. And if this was left open, this could be another door that leads out into perhaps that outdoor veggie garden. My concern here is that, the southern sun comes from this way. And so this whole area is going to be shaded by the building. So I'm not quite convinced that this is the best spot for a veggie garden. But if you have a different opinion there, we could certainly do something more like this where we break this apart and have a door that leads directly to the outside veggie garden right here. So that might be something worth exploring. Coming back this way again from the hallway, we can enter into the pantry. We could also enter into a powder room. And then we have access to a powerhouse of a mudroom with plenty of built-in cabinets. Laundry facilities right here. Maybe this is some full height storage for backpacks. This could be like lockers where we've got kids' backpacks and dirty shoes that get shed right here. We could directly access the mudroom from the garage, but I think it's better just to come into this hallway and then turn into the mudroom rather than having yet another door right here in the garage that would block this from being a workshop corner and would eliminate, this bit of L-shaped cabinetry right here. But like you guys were wanting, this mudroom can now serve as access from the backyard to come in and gain access to this powder room. We could also put a door directly right here. So 2 doors, one that opens directly into the half bath. Or if you'd like, we could incorporate a shower right here and just make the powder room a bit longer. And then I just have to reconfigure the doors. Maybe the door to the mudroom's down here, the door into the pantry would be off this way, and this could be more of a full-size bathroom rather than just a half bath. Let's see here. So let's head back to the great room, and now we'll go back to the entry and talk about the more private half of the house. So from the entry, we have access to what I'm calling the flex room. This would certainly be a bit oversized just for a kid's homework station, but I've sized it to fit a ping pong table or a billiards table. So thinking about how this might be used down the line, this space is now large enough for that sort of rec room function, and then that certainly allows it to be large enough for doing some home study or some homework, or if this becomes a teen hangout spot, there's plenty of room to do couches in here while still allowing for a lot of open windows directly to the backyard. Now, this is where I want your input again, because if this was just a kid's spot, I don't think there needs to be much of a direct connection to a rear covered porch. But if this is going to be a rec room area with a billiards table or a ping pong table, maybe we do want the rear porch to connect to that, maybe turn the corner and do sort of a wraparound porch. But then that starts to impact the home's layout. We start going into the tree canopy area. I'm not saying that we couldn't do that, but I'm trying to stay out of the canopy just to help with the health of the tree. Already there's some existing hardscape here within the canopy of the tree. But there's likely still roots that have grown and matured under this area that I just don't want to have to dig up unless you guys feel that it's more necessary to get covered porch area into this flex room. From this flex room, we would continue down this amply sized hallway leading to all the other bedrooms. One bedroom here would have its own private bathroom, large windows above the bed with great views to the tree canopy. Two bedrooms right here would share a Jack and Jill bathroom with their own closets here. And then finally, the master suite really is perfectly situated on site to be able to enjoy the views of the oak and the elm from either a private patio space, or it could also be a covered porch again. But I want your feedback here. I think a covered porch would be certainly a nice thing to have, but it might cut off some views of the canopy. And maybe you guys would be just as happy having it be just a patio space without a large roof overhang cutting off views of the canopy. But from the master, you have access to a walk-in closet as well as access to the master bath with an L-shaped vanity set up along this corner, access to the closed-in water closet area, and then the tub and shower here. I think this tub would just be set up against a very large window with some bottom-up shades for privacy, but when privacy wasn't needed, those shades can drop down to the windowsill, just letting a lot of great views in to the master bath, to these trees. Let's see here. So now let's move to the ADU. So from this driveway here, we'll continue up, or from the family room or master, walking along these pathways to get to the ADU, which is a bit further north on the site. It's a very simple ADU. It's about 530 square feet of living area now, compared to the 3,000 square feet of living area for the main home. And it's pretty simple. We're setting this into the rear setback and into the side setbacks, but we're staying outside of the 5-foot public utility easement here. And so there'd be no limits to windows along these elevations, which is really fantastic for me. I think entering in this bit smaller front porch for the ADU, entering into this hallway, which leads and connects both to the bedroom, the bathroom, and the open area that serves as a mini great room. You know, it's the kitchen, the dining, and the living/office space. The front porch is bookended here by a one-car garage or workshop that shares that long driveway that connects down to that side-facing garage here. And I think just if this is going to be used as a home office, I personally would love to sit here and have a lot of glass along this elevation and this elevation looking out onto the trees in the backyard space. And I think there's enough space left over between the structures that there could be some really nice landscaping here, whether this is where the veggie garden is, close to the kitchen, or if there's some other function that you guys want to have here. There should be enough space. This is a 20-foot square right here, just for a sense of scale. I think that about covers it for this initial layout. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback on this design. I'm sure there will be plenty of changes that come after we see this initial layout and get your guys' feedback. But I think this is really great. I think it's a fantastic design. Just again, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts as to how well the great room connects to these trees, you know, compared to the bedroom wing. But I think given everything, all the constraints that we have, specifically the garage location, wanting to be close to the mudroom and easy access into the great room, I feel like this is probably the best, most ideal layout. But, you know, let's meet and discuss. Thank you guys.